My name is Flynn, and I'm studying a Bachelor of Mechanical Engineering and Industrial Design at QUT. I am also a student ambassador at QUT. I was asked, along with my fellow ambassadors, to talk about all the things we wish we had have known before we came to uni. For example, things like good study habits that can help at both university and school. In this episode, we're going to cover the basics of getting started. I think the biggest difference between school and uni is that here, you're an adult. At school, you have a constant expectation on yourself to do well. Often, your parents, your teachers, and even your friends see year 11 and 12 as being dedicated simply to getting the grades you need for the next step. And for you, that may be going to uni. Once you get to that next step, there is always much more to learn. But as an adult, I've found that the expectations that were once placed on me have lessened. It's now my life, and what I do is up to me.
Hi, I'm Jess. For me, expectations at high school were set way too high. Now that I'm at uni in my second year of a Bachelor of Engineering with Honours and a Bachelor of Science, I'm much more relaxed. So now I achieve even better than I did in high school. It is also up to you how well you do. There is so much support in university and a lot less social pressure. I remember in high school I was stuck comparing myself to everybody in the class. In university, nobody shares your grades. Ultimately, it's up to you who you share it with.
Hi, my name is Rani and I'm in my third year of Electrical Engineering and Business Management. The biggest difference between uni and school is that you have to be self-managing. You have to make the conscious effort yourself. No one is checking to see if you've gone to class or if you've done your lectures.
My name is Jack, and I study a Bachelor of Mathematics at QUT. A big difference between high school and university is that the work is self-directed and you are treated like an adult. You won't have a teacher making sure you're doing your work. This is great, but it means that if you have a problem with one of your units, it's up to you to solve it. At university, you are in charge of your own attendance, your course load, your own levels of self-motivation, pretty much everything. But that doesn't mean you are alone though. QUT has a wide range of support services available. The only difference? It is up to you to find them and utilize them.
So in a nutshell, at uni you have to be proactive, self-motivated, organised, and a problem solver. You probably won't be too surprised to know that these skills happen to be just what employers are looking for as well. You've probably noticed that being organised and being able to solve problems is really important if you want to do well at university. Referring to first-year university students, QUT's Senior Lecturer in Digital Learning and Science Education, Dr. Michelle Mukherjee, said that as a primary course coordinator, she saw some students fail first-year studies not due to struggles with the academic content, but rather due to a lack of organisation and self-motivation. For me, I keep on top of things by getting onto my university study guide, as well as using a digital calendar. All student clubs, and even some of my uni classes when it comes to my course, have a Facebook page and regularly post event details on the platform. I use Google Calendar and put in everything I need to do: study time, lectures, my part-time job, even social events. This way, I know that I don't have to worry about forgetting anything. My calendar also helps me not to procrastinate too much by helping me to set realistic goals that I can slowly work away on.
Hi, I'm Alice. I'm in my 5th year of a Bachelor of Science and Engineering. One of the skills that I learned from high school was time management. At university, you really have to rely on yourself to complete all your assessment and projects on time. So for me, I find it really helpful to set small tasks and small goals and tick them off as I go. That way, I know I'll get done what I have to do, and I know I'll have time to have fun and hang out with my friends.
At school, you're pretty much in the classroom all the time, but at uni, you move around. For example, you might be in a lecture with 100 to 500 people where you are just listening. You could be in a lectorial, where a lecture is given, though you are encouraged to comment and engage in the discussion with the lecturer. You could be in a prac or a workshop, which means you are in a lab or other teaching space surrounded by specialised equipment and working with other students on practical tasks. Or you could be in a tutorial with about 20 to 30 people and a tutor. This is where you get a chance to work on the lecture content with your peers and get more questions with your tutor face to face. It's hard to ask a question during a lecture with over 100 people, but you can easily ask questions in tutorials or pracs. Also, lecturers have consultation times in their own timetables. This means there are certain times every week where you know your lecturer or tutor will be available for you to drop in, email, or even phone to get the help you need.
In my first year, I was really shy and afraid to put my hand up. Looking back now, I wish I wasn't so scared of my lecturers and tutors because they're there to help you get the most out of your university experience. So that means that you can ask them for academic help, or you can even just talk to them about their experience working in the field.
Don't underestimate the benefits of orientation week. This is a really good time to find out more about your enrolment and timetable, make connections with staff and students, find your way around campus, and have fun. You can get a lot more out of university than just an education. Everybody on campus is in the same boat as you, and in your first year especially, it's really easy to make friends because everybody has being nervous in common. There are also a lot of clubs and societies you can join, and these usually have a Facebook page for keeping in touch and announcing events. The orientation part of O Week actually goes for more than just the 1 week. For at least the first 1 to 5 weeks, there are plenty of extra activities and support to make sure all new students feel comfortable starting uni.
Clubs and societies are great for meeting new people. When I first started university, the friends that I was making were mainly through the projects that I was doing in class. However, naturally, as I started to get involved in clubs and societies, I made new friends who I got along with a lot more because we had common interests. So I really highly recommend for anyone starting university to get involved as much as you can because you'll meet a lot of great new people along the way and you'll gain a lot of experience as well.
My biggest piece of advice would be not to stress too much. University is a massive learning experience with lots of responsibility, but it provides you with so many fun and valuable experiences that you otherwise wouldn't get. I recommend that you get out and play a sport, join a club, or learn something new. By the end of university, you want to be able to look back and say that it was one of the best decisions that you ever made.
School taught me a lot of things that have been really helpful at university. Probably the most important was not to procrastinate. I'm sure you've heard this before, but you definitely do not want to leave things to the last minute. At uni, it can be easy to fall into the trap of having to watch 8 weeks worth of lectures in just the 2 days before the final exam. School really helped me get into the mentality of just working away at things.
My name is Madura and I'm a 5th year electrical engineering and computer science student at QUT. School helped me develop the foundations for conducting extended experimental investigations, EEIs. Years 11 and 12 were especially helpful in preparing for assessment that was closer to content taught in university.
I learned a lot of really good communication skills from being school captain. Also, the maths that I learnt in school provided me with a really strong foundational basis to bring to university. So instead of relearning content, I can work through it much faster.
Learning to reference at school was helpful. In senior, I didn't learn to reference to the extent I require at university. However, it was still super helpful to understand the basic principles.
So, what are my top tips this episode? You are already learning valuable skills like time management at school. Make the most of your senior years as they do help prepare you for uni. At uni, you are in charge. This also means you need to organise your time and be self-motivated. Definitely go to orientation week and don't be afraid to ask questions. And finally, don't be afraid to make new friends in your classes or by joining clubs. Be sure to check out the rest of the series for more tips and tricks about studying at uni. See you on campus!